We are talking today about the leasing process and specifically about the step in the process of showings. We are here with Andrea, an experienced leasing agent, and we were talking with many great videos about the leasing. And today, Andrea, I want to ask you regarding the showing as a process, and specifically if you can talk a bit about instances and reasons that investor might get a feedback from the property management or for you like the leasing agent saying, hey, we might want to consider doing more stuff into the property. It can be like little touches or other things. I want you to talk about this because many times people bring the property just after renovation and they wonder why additional things are needed. So can you just talk a bit about that, like why it happens and how it goes like with the leasing process, maybe even just examples that you had like that.
Well, certainly interest is obviously built off of the pictures that we show, and a lot of times you can't see, you don't know until you physically walk through the property and see what is actually there. The more I feel that we can accomplish in the renovation, the better for the tenant in their mind to not see issues moving forward. So obviously utilizing the budget as best as we can to get done the most important things that we can, obviously mechanics and function being the most important, and then doing what we can for the aesthetics.
Maybe what I want to interject from what you say, and that's really great things. When we do the renovations, we are not going to make the properties new. We are thinking about cost effectiveness because that's an investment. And you actually spot it on, like what we are putting our first intention, like the must-haves. When we are talking about renovations, part of the must-have that you mentioned are like making sure we have the mechanicals working and in place. We are checking what is our capex situation, and we want to minimize for maintenance during the rental period. Now, regarding aesthetics, we want the house to look good, but we're not making it new. And in this case, we know process-wise that we are open to get feedbacks from the showings. We know we didn't do the property like a new property. So a wise investor that understands that this is a balancing procedure, he basically or she wants to be proactively in touch with the leasing agent and understand what might be her feedbacks from her know-how of the area, and what might be feedbacks of tenants, prospective tenants that you are talking to while the showing is ongoing. Do you have example like for people like seeing the property, you know what, I like the location, I like the property, but I would like to have this or that. Is this something that ever happened to you?
Generally speaking, and this also is something that is built too in the initial screening, is what people are looking for, what their expectation is of the property in general. Bathrooms are a big thing. You can't just add a bathroom. Okay, so it's, whether or not that bathroom is feasible, even though there is one, is it large enough for them? Is it up to date? Plumbing's good, everything's in working order, things like that. Basement, another concern for people, and what that use is going to be for them. Are they looking at it for entertainment space, or is it just for added storage? There's some things that we can work with and not. Whether it's
that's a great example that I want to stop. Like when we purchase a property and we do the planning, if it's like a smaller property, we might be more inclined to finish the basement for an extra space. If it's a bigger property, it depends on the area and understanding what the tenant profile is in the area. We might consider doing it and we might not. But if we have a great tenant in the property and it says like, oh, I would like the property, but I would wish to have this as not as like the basement, not as a storage space, but as an extra living space, we should consider that. And sometimes it's a matter like of conversation. Maybe we'll say, okay, we'll do it and we up the rent.
Right.
But we want to be open for this kind of conversation. And you always, as investor, you want to relay to like the leasing agent and to the property management that you are open to it.
Yeah, because and that's just that. Any sort of upgrade, if you will, allows or gives us the ability to increase the rent to kind of compensate for that added, expense.
I think what you can take out of this conversation, and it is a very important tip working in general with your team in the ground, is be open to conversation. the more you are as a client, as an investor, as a team player, really a team player, convey that I am open to conversation, I understand things are dynamic, you are increasing the chances that you will get from the leasing agent, from property manager feedback, hey, you know what, we actually got a great tenant for you, but he asked for this and that, and at least you can consider. But if you convey that you are closed, hey, I've done rehab, I don't want to hear about upgrades, you're losing on opportunities. So if you have more questions about showing properties, the process, and in general about leasing properties, we are here for you. We'd love to help you in any way we can. Good luck in your real estate investment.